guys, I have a quick unboxing and swatching video for you today. This is the limited edition Modern Muse collection from Revel, and I just got this in the mail a couple of days ago, and I'm just now being able to sit down and swatch these colors with you. But I'm going to be probably doing a manicure with this, not this coming week, but the next week. This coming week, I'm going to be participating in a really fun collab challenge thing happening on Instagram. It's taking place on October 3rd, and we are all doing Mean Girls Manis. So there are a couple of hashtags that we're using for this challenge slash collab, and that is going to be hashtag Mean Girl Manis and hashtag October 3rd Manis. I'll list those hashtags down below, so if you decide to join in on the fun and do a Mean Girls inspired manicure and post on October 3rd, make sure you tag me at Manis and Plannies on Instagram, and also the creator of this event, and her handle is Trying to Nail This. And I'll leave both of those links down below. All right, so I'm gonna get this out of the packaging because the glare is obnoxious. Okay, and this set actually comes with 6 dip powders and 6 nail polishes that coordinate together. So basically it's the dip powder version of the colors and then the nail polish versions of those colors as well. And the reason I bought this whole set, I haven't used actual nail polish in a while, but the reason I bought this set this way is because I wanted all 6 of these limited edition colors, but when you buy these jars individually, they're $10 a piece, and if you bought this whole set, it was like $55. So I wanted to save $5 and get all of the colors, and then I mean these colors are really beautiful, and I definitely still use polish on my toes, so I may give a couple of these colors away, but I think I will definitely use both of these lower colors on my toes at some point, and then also probably the sparkly green. This is really, really pretty. So anyway, let's get to swatching these colors so you guys can see what these look like up close and on a swatch stick. Alright, so here are all the supplies that I use when I'm making my swatches. I have my clear swatch sticks. And the reason I use clear instead of white is that you can get a better understanding of what the color is actually going to look like. Your nails are not pure white, and so if you put color over the top of a pure white swatch stick, sometimes it can throw off the actual representation of the color itself. So I have a few clear swatch sticks, I have my dip powders, I have a base and an activator, a couple of brushes to brush off powder, and then I have the labels that I created for my swatch sticks. So I make sure that all of my swatch sticks are labeled with the name of the brand and the name of the color. And so I just created these labels and listed them in my Etsy shop, which I will link down below if you guys would like a your own set of labels for your swatch sticks. I don't know if the camera will focus in on that, if I'm too close maybe. There we go. But these are just perfectly sized labels to put on your swatch sticks so that you don't have to worry about, you know, using a Sharpie or something that's going to peel off. This kind of makes everything look a little bit nicer and more organized as well. So I'm gonna write down the colors that I'm swatching and put those on my swatch sticks, and then we will get to swatching. Okay, so my method for swatching is I do 3 dips of solid colors and 2 dips of glitter color, because that's pretty much how I put them on my fingernails. And I will just use whatever base and activator I have around. I usually reserve the more expensive base and activator for when I'm actually putting colors on my nails. So I just grab a base and activator that I like and start swatching. My nails are naked right now because I am getting ready to do my Mean Girls mani that I mentioned earlier. So they're technically not naked. I took the color off last night, got my cuticles all prepped, and then did 2 quick coats of just a clear polish to protect them while I slept, because the last time I went to bed with naked nails, I broke my thumbnail. So I'm gonna actually be filming a video. I'm gonna take this clear dip off and I'm gonna mess around with builder gel, and so I'm probably gonna film that process tomorrow at some point so you guys can see that. So all right, let's get to swatching these colors. I'll show you in real speed what my swatching technique looks like, and then I'm gonna speed it up so that you guys aren't here forever watching swatching. Watching swatching. All right, I cracked myself up. All right, I also grabbed a toothpick to use to swirl the color around if necessary. During shipping and when powders sit for a while, they will settle and they get kind of compacted in the jar. You wanna make sure that the powder is really, really fluffy when you dip into it. Ugh, there we go, so that you don't mess up the base liquid that when you dip into the powder. So if you think about the base liquid is on your swatch or on your nail wet, and then if you were to push it into something that's hard or like compacted, it can mess up, it can put like a lump or a bump in your dip. So I just make sure that either you can kind of roll the jars or give them a swirl, a quick swirl with a toothpick or something like that. Let's see if I can get this off. Having to relearn to do things with long nails. I used to wear acrylics all the time and then I stopped, and now I haven't had my nails this long in years. Like, they are growing out so nicely and so quickly with dip powder, so I'm kind of having to relearn how to use my fingers again because nails are not tools. All right, Introspect. Let's start with Introspect. I'm really excited to see this color. Somebody asked me in a Facebook group that I'm in today to post a comparison of a couple of greens. They wanted to see, it was Sparkle & Co.'s Goddess of the Grasslands, Revel's Wicked, Revel's Pine, and Revel's Flannel. And then I also told her that I was going to be swatching this Introspect later today because this is also like a green, blue, deep greenish color. So I'm gonna compare it. I'm gonna swatch this first, take a photo for her, and post that on Facebook. I obviously love blues and greens, but those were just really, really pretty. So okay, so getting this fluffed up. And you're literally just going to do the same kind of process that you would do if you were dipping on your nails. No different, really. And then you can, I don't buff and file and make it look all pretty. I'm not super careful with this. Like, I'm not really, really sloppy, but I don't do it quite as carefully as I would on my own nails. You can certainly buff these when you're done and then put like a, well, that's not good. Oh boy. Crisis averted. Okay, you can certainly buff these and then put a top coat on them when you're done. Sorry, I have had 3 cups of coffee today and my hands are straight up shaking right now. Oh yeah, it's one of those days. I had a lot going on. Okay, then we're gonna dip. And tap off the excess. And then I give it like a second to kind of set and dry. Sometimes if it still looks kind of dark, like you want it to come out of the powder looking almost lighter or chalky, or really the color of what the powder looks like dry in the jar. So if it comes out and it's still looking a little bit, has a wet spot or a dark spot, I'll just dip it in there again. And then I use my little brush to gently wipe off the excess powder. And normally the dip sticks pretty well, but because I dropped the lid and everything rolled away, this dried a little bit. So that's why you'll see in the second dip that it looks just fine. All right, swirl that again. Let's do another dip. This is dip number 2. I have the windows open, so if you guys hear the wildlife outside, the birds and the squirrels are very active today. I'm also working on, for my audio, not talking downwards, because I noticed on my last video, every time I look up and talk, I get really loud. And then when I look down and talk, I get really quiet. And that's probably really annoying for you as a viewer. And I was saying something before I dropped my lid. And that was that you can dip and buff and put a top coat on if you want to see what it will look like as a finished product. Some people will dip, activate, buff, and then do half of the nail with a matte top coat and half with a glossy top coat, which is kind of a cool idea. But if you flip these over, another reason I like to use the clear ones is if you wipe the powder off, I mean, this is essentially what it will look like with a clear top coat on it. So I don't use a top coat on the other side. It's just, it takes so long and I don't want to continue to use up my liquids. So this is what it's gonna look like for the most part if you have a matte coat on it, and this is what it's gonna look like for the most part if you have a glossy top coat on it. So it's less work and I can essentially see what the color is going to look like. So that's why I like to use the clear clear swatch sticks. And you can see, like, even though I messed up that first dip, second dip makes it all look perfect again. All right, we are going in for our third and final dip. I don't know about you guys, but we are big football fans in this house, and so having NFL back has been wonderful, but I prefer college ball. I went to Washington State University. Go Cougs. Hopefully there's some other Washingtonians out there. If you're a Husky and you're watching this, that's okay. You can continue to watch. Please don't give me a thumbs down. But we just found out the Pac-12 is going to be playing football again, starting in November, I believe. My mom is a Husky. My dad and I are both Cougs. But I'm super, super excited to have college ball back. But anyway, my husband and I spent all day today watching inspirational football movies. We watched Remember the Titans first, and then we watched Invincible. I think it's Invincible, yeah, with Mark Wahlberg, and he's the guy in Philly, like the bartender that tries out for the Philadelphia Eagles and makes the team. And that was really good. So I spent the morning crying through inspirational football movies, but it's given me my football fix until I can get my Saturday football back. But we got the Seahawks playing tomorrow, and then my husband is a Saints guy, so the Saints have the late game. Seahawks play tomorrow. We play the Cowboys. So we're off to a good start. We'll see how it goes. I still wish that Marshawn Lynch was playing again this season, but that's all right. Okay, so this is all done. I'm just gonna let this, I put that last one on a little bit thick, that last coat of base, so I'm just gonna let this dry for a hot minute. No, more like 10, 20 seconds. Get this screwed back on, and then just like I said, it's just like doing your nails, but you're gonna put the activator on top of it. And that is pretty much all she wrote. This is like my favorite part. I'm gonna zoom in because I love watching the powder transition when you put the activator on it. It's like magic. Okay, you guys ready for this? Ooh. Gets all dark, and you can be very generous with the activator. You want to be generous. You want it to penetrate all the layers of the dip. But this, once you put the activator on, it really gives you a better idea of what the color is actually going to look like. And I was not on board with the whole swatching thing at first because I have like 250 colors, and that did not sound like a good time to me. It's actually quite therapeutic, and I have enjoyed it very much. I usually just put like a Netflix show on or something, but it's really important to swatch the colors because when you look at them online, you don't really get a very good understanding of what it's going to look like through your screen or monitor. And then when you look at the actual powder itself, they don't look like what they're going to look like once they have been activated and have a color over them, or have a top coat over them. So if you can see, that is kind of give you the general idea of what it's going to look like with a glossy top coat. This is what it'll look like with a matte top coat, and then you can see how different it is between the actual powder in the jar versus the final product on the stick. All right, I am zoomed back out. I'm going to finish swatching these last 5 colors, and then I will go through all 6 colors so that you guys can see what these look like. All right, so here we have the final swatches all done. And like I said, it's really, really important that you actually do these swatches. This is a perfect example. I'll show you really quick is Elysian, which is, oh my gosh, pretty. But look at the swatch versus what's actually in the jar. This swatch looks like a green glitter color, and this in the jar looks like blue with like greenish goldish glitter to me. So really important that you do swatches. At first I thought they were a pain, and I really didn't appreciate what swatches can do for you when you're trying to figure out your color combination for the week or for the manicure, until I started trying to figure out what I was gonna do for the Mean Girls manicure next week. So I knew I wanted to have a pink of some kind and have a couple of fall colors, and then definitely use this Sparkle & Co. like cheetah print looking powder. And so I was like, how am I gonna make green and pink and cheetah print all go together? And so I just started pulling swatches and came up with a couple of ideas. So having the swatches actually physically available for you to like hold up on your nails and look at them all together, it really makes a big, big difference. So, and I think my process for doing swatches is a pretty good process, because you can see without a whole lot of work the matte version, and then on the back side the glossy version. So anyway, let's take a look at these Revel colors really quickly. Individually we have Introspect, which I am gonna say is kind of very similar to their Pine color. If you already have Revel Pine, I don't think you would necessarily need to purchase this one. It looks, I would say Pine is ever so slightly darker than Introspect, but if you are trying to decide between one or the other, oh my gosh, I'm sorry that the camera's not focusing. If you're trying to decide between Pine and Introspect, I would say Pine leans slightly more green, Introspect leans slightly more blue and maybe just a tiny bit lighter. Let's put it next to Flannel, which is another fall color that they put out. So here is Introspect versus Flannel, and it definitely pulls a lot more blue when it's next to a color like Flannel, which is a pretty true green. So that is Introspect. The next color up is Elysian, which is this gorgeous glittery green color. This is, I cannot wait to get these on my fingers. This is beautiful, but this is a really fine green glitter. And so I meant to say earlier, shimmers and very fine glitters I also do 3 coats of. The reason I do 2 coats for like chunky glitters and foils and things like that is because they get really thick really fast, and so I really only do 2 coats of those on my fingers. So on my real nails I will still do 3 coats probably of a very fine glitter, and definitely 3 coats of a shimmer. So this Elysian is a green, emerald green glitter, I would say. Then the next color is Reflect, and this kind of reminds me of like the stone, like lapis lazuli, where it's like a deep, deep blue with flecks of gold flake in it. The camera is definitely not doing it justice right now. I will try to insert at the very end photos of these all outside, but it's a really overcast, rainy day here in Virginia today, so I don't know if I'll be able to get a great photo of it, but I will do my best. But this is like a deep, deep blue, like a deep ocean blue with gold flake in it. I am not a big pink girl, but when I saw a swatch of this color, Divine, I immediately knew that is what sealed the deal for me, because I had the 5 individual colors in my cart and they were $10 each, so it was 5 for $50. And then I saw a picture of this Divine swatched, but this is a super pretty soft pink with holographic large and small, not like super chunky glitter, but like medium and small glitter in it as well. And like I said, not a pink girl myself, but this color made me decide to get the entire set all together because I had to have this pink. Next color up is, I have no idea how to pronounce this, Maracai. It's kind of like a caramel or a butterscotch cream color. It's a flat color, there's no shimmer or sparkle in it. And it is like kind of reminds me of like an acorn or butterscotch or caramel of some kind, but this is gonna be a really, really pretty color. I'm gonna have a couple glitter ideas that I wanna pair this with, but I'm excited to get this one on my nails too. And then the last color is Embrace, and I'd say, I think this one surprised me the most of all of them. I thought it, when I was putting it on as powder, I thought it was gonna be like a dusty light rose, because, let me find it over here. because this is how it was in the jar, and so I thought it was gonna be a lot lighter than this, and this actually turned out to be a really beautiful mauve color that it's hard to show in indoor lighting, but this is kind of, yeah, it's like a purpley mauvey deep red color that's just perfect for fall, late fall and winter as well. Okay, so here they are up close. You guys can get to see the shimmer and the color of these a little bit. The Embrace, Maracay, and Introspect are all flat cream colors. Divine, Reflect, and Elysian are glitters and flakes. So Divine is a mix of medium and small glitters, Elysian is a fine glitter, and then Reflect has the gold foil flake in it. So I am really happy with this set of colors. I'm still building my Revel collection, and so I know there's definitely some similar colors to other colors that they already have out there, but for somebody like me that's just kind of getting started in this dip powder game, this is a great set to build your late fall winter collection with. I'm really, really happy with this, and I will be doing a manicure video with these colors very soon, so stay tuned. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below. I will also leave an affiliate code for Revel to get 10% off your order, and I will see you guys later. Bye.